Cards and Comic Show. Welcome back to Cards and Comics. Today I'm going to have another epic, huge mail day. Now, I've had to split these mail days up into two parts. So, part one is going to be just my King Griffey Jr. pickups. I've had so many that I really decided just to make him its own video. I haven't done a video in quite a while for me on my my collection pickups. And I've had so many Griffey pickups, I just wanted to kind of showcase them by themselves and talk about the cards a little bit in more detail. So this is just King Griffey Jr.'s, mostly from the 90s, and should be a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys like these kind of cards, because that's really what I collect a lot of. And we'll get right into it. So the first one here is from 1996. It is a card that I didn't know much about when I picked it up, but I did some research and it's a pretty cool card. Now, here is the 1996 Summit Big Bang Mirage PSA 9. Now, if you can see on the screen, when I highlight or move the card around, you see like a baseball like effect go right here in this part of the card. And that's, I guess, the Mirage part. Now, this card come out, the Big Bang insert had two versions. Version 1 was the regular, and it had a foil background. So it was kind of a shiny foil. Then this one was the Mirage, which the shiny part was just the little baseball in the middle. And so they had the same exact rarity. So they were both 1 in 72 packs, or 1 per every 72 packs. And they were both numbered out of 600. So this one's 194 600. So again, just a really cool set. I really like those kind of sets that you can definitely afford to pick up, because this was less than $80 for a Griffey card. And to me, it's got a lot of coolness factor to it. It's numbered, which again, even in 96 600 was pretty rare. And, there's two versions, so now I need to go find the second version. It's a card I didn't know much about until I bought it, and now I have the need to seek out version 2. So, very cool card. All right, next up is a card that I can't believe I've never owned before, because I've known about it since I was a kid, and it's such a cool card, but it's the 97 Fleer Lumber Company. So, some facts about this card. It's in Series 1. It's a 1 in 18 retail only insert. So if you can find boxes of Fleer, 97 Fleer, there's two things to think about with 97 Fleer. One is that Series 2 has the David Ortiz rookie, I believe. So Series 1 does not. So you can find Series 1 retail boxes pretty cheap, and it does have this really nice die-cut Lumber Company insert. 1 in 18 packs, not, the hardest to get. Now, people like this card quite a bit. This card was about the same price as this card here. So, and this card's numbered to 600. So it does show you that if a card has a cool die cut and it's just a nice looking card, it can drive value up. So again, I'll show you the back. Just a really cool card. Lumber Company, 97 Fleer. 97 Fleer had a lot of great inserts. It's one of those, I think, underrated sets. Just like a lot of Fleer Ultra sets back in the day, had a lot of really cool cards. Next up is a card, and some of these cards have been on my Instagram. This is one of the ones I really, when I got it in hand, I just really enjoyed it. Now, sometimes you get cards, and, this is a card I've known about, since I was right out of high school, or sorry, right out of college. And it was right around the time period where I couldn't afford to really buy boxes. But I remember this set when it came out because of two factors. One was it was during the time period where I just couldn't really afford to buy a lot of cards. And so I really wanted to open this product. I really liked these cards. Two, I worked for a company that made Arizona tea. And Arizona tea had Peter Max do a series of labels. So at the same time that this product was on the market, these Peter Max, gallery inserts, these serigraphs, I was making Peter Max, tea labels for Arizona, where I was working. So it was like a weird coincidence that there was baseball cards, and then I was making product that had his labels, designed labels. So just one of those coincidences that just kind of stuck in my mind. But this set, when I got it in hand, because I've never owned this card, really impressed me just how nice these cards are. Just they're very striking. They're kind of like I guess Diamond Kings a little bit, but to me, a very stylistic, card from an art perspective. Now, the big, obviously, elephant in the room of these cards is the actual autograph version. Now, I've gone through some Reddits and some PSA boards and blowout forum boards about this card. And what I can tell you from what I've gathered is that the autograph versions should have two telltale signs. One is the autograph should be underneath the glossy coating. So when you look at the shininess of the card, it should be on top of the autograph. Two, they should be numbered to 40. Now, there is people who said that, the cards were damaged and Topps had done replacements that weren't numbered. But that has allowed people to fake these autographs. And I think some fakes have gotten into some holders. So the card itself, to me, has gone down a little bit in its luster because of Topps doing something like that. Just basically not protecting the card and the integrity of it. And so now, all these years later, the chances of someone getting ripped off is still there because they decided not to number the replacements if they did replacements. So it just makes the card, you have to be very, very careful if you buy a unnumbered autograph in this product. Obviously, the safest thing to do is to buy a card that's numbered. The numbering looks correct, and it's underneath the glossy coating if you want to buy the autograph version, which I do not have. The other thing, too, this is a PSA 10, and for people who are on my channel quite a bit when I do Griffey collecting, I don't subscribe to just buying 10s. But this was a 10, and it just so happened to be, right place, right time when I was looking to buy a card. Was wanting to get, I'm always looking to buy Griffey cards, and this fell right into my price range, and so I snapped it up. And from a pop report, it's only got 32 10s, so it just seems like 32 10s out of a card that's pretty much now we're going into 26 years ago it was produced. To me, it's going to be a card that I don't think we're going to see a pop explosion anytime soon. So it's 32 cards isn't much for people who love Griffey cards. Next up is a base card, but it doesn't really look like a base card, and that's the UD3 King Griffey Jr. These are the Homer and Hero subset. So there's, I think, 4 subsets in UD3. This is like kind of the basic one. It's kind of cool, like foil, it's got a wood grain border, hat backwards Griffey, which is always very nice to look at. Here's the back, so you can see they do that foil thing on the front and back. It's a PSA 10. There's only 29 PSA 10s, again, not a ton. And, this card costs, less than $40 for a PSA 10. Pretty cool looking card. Now, this set has some other claims to fame. Mainly that it has a autograph card of Griffey in it, and it's a very it's a 97 autograph, so it's an early Griffey autograph, and the autograph is in pen. So anyone who knows the UD3 autograph set, it's in pen. I do have that card. I should have brought it out actually for the video, but I don't have it just sitting here. So I do actually have the UD3 Griffey Auto. It's a cool card. So there you go. Next up is a card I really, really like. And when I tell you what the card sold for, I think people will just kind of be shocked. It's only a PSA 8, but it's the Fractal Materials Leaf Griffey Wood. So there were 4 materials: plastic, nylon, leather, wood. And the wood cards are numbered out of 250. So any of the base cards. So this is the base card. So everyone has to get their head wrapped around that. All the base cards had one of the 4 materials, and this card was wood. So this is the base card, and it's wood. So it's numbered out of 250. And then this card, so every card in the set has a material, and then it has a certain axis Z cut, or die cut. So this card itself had a Z axis die cut. You've got the card, which is wood, and if it's die cut, it's going to be a Z. The Z is numbered out of 50. So the first 50 cards that are numbered in this, the first 50 cards are the Z axis die cuts. Whew. All right. So we got through that. It's very confusing. And then there's these, I think they call them Z2 die cuts, which are even different, and they're numbered to 20. So there's like a whole different parallel set of the entire set. And there's 200 cards in the set that have a different die cut, and they're all numbered to 20. For the love of God, they made this set so confusing. But that's basically it. So so there could be another card that's nylon, and it's a X die cut, and it's like, I think 250 or whatever, 500 or whatever it is, right? So I think the highest number card in the set's like 3,999, something like that. So again, 250 is pretty rare for the set. So the wood cards, the wood base cards, are numbered to 250. So to me, they're really cool short print base cards. It's only PSA 8, so I get it. It's not high grade, but this card again sold for less than $80 for a Griffey wood base card numbered to 250. I just think that's pretty cheap, in my opinion. But this is a set that only hardcore, in my opinion, really hardcore, either those crazy fractal material collectors love, or just the player collectors who are chasing their favorite players know about. It doesn't have broad appeal. It's not like something that when you see it, you go like, oh my God, I gotta have that card. Like the Flare Brilliant sets, or the Mystique cards, or the Refractor cards are so shiny. It's just, it doesn't have that immediate eye appeal. But when you start digging into the set and the cool die cuts, it does appeal to me. I have some other cards from these sets that I really like, the Fractal Matrix cards, the material cards. But I understand if people don't like them and get confused by them. So, but I thought it was a really cool pickup, and I just like that it's a base card number at 250 for Griffey from the 90s, made out of wood or wood-like material, right? All right, moving on. 1998 Leaf, Heading for the Hall, really shiny foil card, PSA 9. So this card came out of just Leaf, the base set, series 1. I think there's only one series. And it was numbered out. So these are numbered out of 3,500. So flip it over, you can see numbered out 3,500. So this is what's funny. So the Heading for the Hall, PSA 9, numbered out of 3,500, sold for $70. The Fractal Matrix Leaf, numbered out of 250, sold for $78. So there's only $8 difference between these two cards. And this one's a 9, I get it, but they're numbered out of 3,500 and 250. It just shows you the power of the shiny and how that makes us love shiny cards, and kind of dark wood grain border cards don't quite have the same eye appeal. So, I mean, I understand it, and again, we talk about eye appeal, and I did the video where the industry is not rational. So, in all other aspects, that fractal materials card should be worth a heck of a lot more, but it's not. That just shows you how it doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes. So, next up is a card. Hopefully, you guys are watching some of my videos. I did a box break of 1999 Finest. It's label 98. I guess I came back from the dead and didn't know how to calculate dates or read the boxes properly. But this card was a pack pull out of the box. So I was able to add a Griffey to my collection by opening packs, which is pretty rare because I don't own this card until I just pulled it out of a pack. And it is a refractor. As you can see, it's shiny. It's H8. So it's weird how they did this set, but I guess Griffey didn't have as many home runs that year as other players, because the way that the set rarity went, I think the top 10 home run hitters had cards, and they were ranked in rarity by who hit the most. Griffey, he was number 8 in the set, and even though number 8, he was still pretty rare, 1 in 216. So this is the 1 in 216 hit to get the refractor. And you can see it, and these are the beautiful double-sided refractors. The thing I'm advocating the most to return to the hobby is the return of the double-sided refractor. Please, Topps, make it happen. So this is an example of me opening some packs and getting actually something for my collection, which is pretty hard to do when you're talking about stuff from the 90s, because it's so hard to hit stuff in those boxes. It's 1 in 216, and it was a lot of fun. That was a really cool break. Check it out if you get a chance. I hit a Jeter card. I had a Frank Thomas card. So a lot of cool inserts, and both of my refractors were I think were Hall of Famers as well, my base refractors. So it is a really good box for what you can get. Next up is the Team Finest Red. So again, very plain looking card. If I was going to just judge it on design alone, as far as rarity, they're 1 in 18 packs. For jumbo, this card is numbered out of 500, and again, you can see the numbering there. So this is card 447 of 500. It's a PSA 8, and this card was over $80, and again, it costs more than that fractal material would. I'm just still shocked that that card was so cheap. Maybe I just got a good deal. I don't know. Maybe should let it go, right? But these are not the most attractive cards themselves, but the refractor versions are very nice. And the refractor version is numbered out of 50, I believe. And they go for a pretty good penny, the refractor version. So they're very hard to get. I don't own any of the refractor versions of the team cards from the 99 Finest set. I've had a few chances on the blue, which is numbered out of 150. The golds, I think, are out of like 25 or 20. So, that's like a mythical card. They're not as attractive. So when they come up for sale, they don't blow like your mind in terms of just, like they don't break the bank like some other cards do. Like a PMG or some, Essential Credentials have been doing recently. But they do go for pretty good money because they are pretty rare. And they are a Topps Finest card. But here is just the regular red. And I've never owned that card, so I'm very happy. Next up, 99 Finest King Griffey Jr. Refractor, card 101. So this is not the insert. This is not the base card. This is a subset, the gem subset. Card number 200 is the base card. This is card number 101. It's a PSA 9. Pop count is 13 9s and 34 10s. And again, you got one refractor in every 12 box in a hobby box, and one in every 5 jumbo packs. So you get about 2 refractors a box, or 2 to 3 in a jumbo. So that's how it rolls. So if you watch my recent opening, I got 2 base refractors. I know one was Larry Walker. I'm trying to think who the other one was, but both pretty awesome players. And so again, hitting a good player is sometimes hard to do. So again, this has been peeled, and at some point, hopefully, PSA starts designating peeled versus unpeeled for these cards, because we all know the peeled versions are a little easier to get graded. The unpeeled are harder to get. It's kind of like in the comic book world where you've got the newsstand versus the direct version, direct to the comic book store version. The direct version is always cheaper because they went to the comic book shop and they weren't kind of manhandled on a rack with a bunch of kids. That's the theory anyway. And so, like, when you take off the protector, all the damage and all the scuffing goes away, and you get a very clean surface. So it's much easier to get a high grade. That's why everyone peels them. I'm a old school guy. I like having the peel on them because it's just how the card came. But I do recognize that the card's a lot more attractive when you peel that, the protector off. So I understand both sides. And again, this is, interesting because they didn't do the double-sided refractor for the base cards, but they had them for some inserts. So they were very inconsistent how they used the double-sided. In 98, I believe, they had a special insert set that had double-sided. So that was like they even like called it out, like double-sided refractors, the non-protector refractor had double-sided. So they use that as a way to distinguish between the regular and the unprotected version by making the back refractor. So they definitely had, they knew about that. Was people like that, and we don't get it anymore. Just kind of sad. Now this card again, it's not a base card, but I want there's 3 Griffey cards in the set. There's a Sterling, there's a base, and then there's the gems, and I now have all 3. So this completes my 99 Finest Griffey base and subset set. So very nice. Next up is my first, I guess, really, really rare card. And I'm going in order by year. This is the 99 Topps Gold Label Griffey Class 1 Red. And so this has got the red Topps Gold Label stamping there. That's why it's called the red label. It's Class 1, so there's I think 3 classes in Topps Gold Label. All the reds, no matter what class it is numbered to 100. So like the Class 3 isn't shorter printed than the Class 1. I'll show you the wonky numbering. It's right there, and it's 50 out of 100. You got to kind of really hold it in the light perfectly. It feels like this is common for this card to have this kind of very light numbering. Again, it's a PSA 8. First one I've ever owned. When I was at the National, a guy had was almost like specialized in the Gold Label rare Griffey cards and the Flair Showcase cards, and I felt like they were way overpriced at the National, and I kind of think I was right. They haven't, the Gold Label hasn't like skyrocketed like the Flair Showcase cards have. So they're still pretty affordable. In fact, this one was, right around $250. So to me, that's pretty reasonable for a Griffey card from the 90s. That's 100 or less. Because if that was a refractor or some other more popular set, remember, it's still a Griffey in the 90s and as a Mariner. So you would expect a card number to 100 or less to go for more than $250, and this one didn't. So pretty excited that it didn't. And again, these are 1 in 118 packs hobby. So they're pretty tough hits. So just to get one of these. So pretty excited to have this. And you'll see another Gold Label coming up in a minute from a different year. Now, next up is a memorabilia card. So this is this is Upper Deck Black Diamond, Piece of History. So you can either get this card in 3 versions. You can get the single, the double, the triple piece. I think there was jerseys and multiple versions of this card, but this is the single, the easiest one to get. Now I say easy to get because even as an easy insert, it was 1 in 179 hobby packs and 1 in 359 retail packs. So this is like 1 in like 4 or 5 boxes. So this is not an easy pull, or 6 boxes. So I feel like, this is definitely one of those cards that gets no love because this card, I know it's an SGC set or PGS 7.5. That's not helping it. But, these are thick cards and damage is easier. But this was $30 for a card that's 1 in 179 packs. And I know it's a single bat, but still, it's a 90s Griffey card, it's a 2000 Griffey card, still as a Mariner. And $30 for, a card like this, 1 in 179. Pretty good value. And that's why I say to people all the time, I get a lot of questions on Instagram or, other, or on YouTube sometimes, about Griffey and like about the price, like, oh, well, I'm priced out of Griffey cards. And I just say, like, you can find a niche in Griffey cards like this, him as a red, where the cards are awesome looking. I'm going to show you one in a second, just beautiful looking cards, and they're not priced high at all. So you can still enjoy collecting the player and have great looking cards and spend less than $40. So to me, $31 for this card is, to me, awesome value. I'm not going to say it's a steal because that's what it sold for. But to me, it's a really cool card for $30. And that's what I enjoy about Griffey is that it's not all about the $10,000 mega cards that you see selling up for Griffey. That as a collector, I can pick up awesome looking cards at $30 to this day. And here's another example. And again, it's a red card, so it's always going to be less money. But the Topps All-Stars from 2001 Finest. I really like this set. I have a PSA 10 of the base card, and I picked up this Refractor just because it was so cheap. It was $21.50 for this Refractor. So to me, again, I'm just trying to point out, like, okay, it's not a Mariner card, so if you're going to be a purist on Griffey, then okay. But if you just want to have cool looking cards of Griffey to collect, $20, guys. It's a Refractor. It looks cool. It's a cool insert. It was 1 in 40 packs hobby and 1 in 20 packs jumbo. So again, not 1 per box insert at all. So you're going to have to open a couple boxes to even get one of these inserts. And then, you got a lot of players to hit before you get to Griffey. So not the easiest card to pull. It's not like a 1 in every 5 pack type of deal. So again, $21 for a cool looking Griffey card like this. To me, it's just showing that you can still get some really cool cards out there. So this idea that everyone's priced out, to me, is not really true. If you really want to expand your thought, if all you want to get is the premier 90s cards of Griffey, the really hard ones, yeah, those are going up tremendously in value, some of them. Last but not least, I'm a little out of order. So this is the 2000 card. So it's again, I talked about gold label. So here's another gold label card, but it's post his playing years. And again, this is very confusing because for some people, if you're new to Griffey, is that I just showed you a 2000 card from the upper deck card where he is a Mariner, and then here's the same year and now he's a red. Well, that's true because some cards in 2000 he's a Mariner, some he's a red, and this one he's a red. This is, so they changed gold label around, so they got rid of like the black label and the red label and all that, and they just went to gold. So the golds are numbered to 100 no matter what class it is. So this is class 1. But they had this really cool die cut, almost like a stamp. And I love that die cut. I love the gold. It looks really nice. Really classy looking card. It's only a 7 because of the die cut. It just makes it difficult to grade. But you can see the stamping on this card is much stronger. 31. I got it upside down. 31 of 100. So yeah, almost his jersey number. That would have been really cool, right? Even though that, I talk about how jersey numbering doesn't, shouldn't matter that much, but it does. To some folks, it really does. But this is just a cool looking card. I really just think they hit this design out of the ballpark. And I just heard from the Topps industry or whatever their big meeting that they're going to discontinue Gold Label, which I think is disappointing from an aspect that this set could have been just about these kind of cards. The Gold Label, the die cuts, the short prints, and don't even need to add autos to a set like this, and it would sell it. Be a set that you could sell for under $125 a box and have people have fun with it. But I think Fanatics wants to have a few really cheap products and a bunch of middle expensive, like $200+ products, and a bunch of really expensive products. So they're not designing products that are just to open for fun, outside of a few of the entry level stuff. So, but this is like what Gold Label was when it was amazing. Cards like this, just a really great card. And again, numbered to 100 Griffey, and these are 1 in 68 packs, the gold labels, and again, basically less than $200 for this card. So another Griffey numbered to 100, under 250, a lot of fun. So there it is, guys. That is my mail day. Let me know what you guys think about my mail day, what your favorite card was. I'm going to go through and just show you my favorite card. Obviously, it's going to be something, I like the Fractal Wood card. I really like the Peter Max card. That card was just killer when I opened it. And then the other gold label card. So those 3 cards right there are probably my favorite from this, just because they're cards I never ever owned before. And that's a big deal for me. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to hit the camera at the very end. Oh my god, it's all going to crap. There you go. That's it, guys. Hope to see you next time on the next video, which is going to be part 2 with the rest of cards besides my Griffey cards. And hope to see you in that video. Leave me a comment, a like. Tell me which cards you like the best. And I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.